Hi folks, it's Kim from Eclectic Paperie, and I am here today to show you a quick technique. This is a Tim Holtz technique. It was in his last Compendium of Curiosities book, and this is a technique that I demonstrated at a tag class that I had a few months ago. And I was going to post one of the tags on my blog this week, and I decided, you know what, maybe I'll make a video of the technique because I've not done this technique before, and it actually took a little bit of work. It was not quite as simple. A lot of Tim's stuff is pretty easy. You do it once, you figure it out. This one took a little finessing, so I thought a video would better explain how to do this technique. So he calls it faded layers. It's an alcohol ink technique, and this week we sell the alcohol inks in the 3-packs, and we have had, I'm going to try to remember the names of the Conservatorium and another, this one I think, which is kind of the blues, and this is current, this isn't one of them, but a brown in it. But we've added 2 more of the packs to the store, so now we have 4 selections of the 3-packs of the alcohol inks. So this is the Adirondack alcohol inks. I've got 3 different colors. That's what I'm going to start with today. I've got a piece of specialty stamp paper. This is important when working with alcohol inks. Glossy cardstock is excellent, probably the best thing to work with. I don't have glossy in my stash, but I do have a bunch of this specialty stamping paper, and I found that it works perfectly. It works really well because it has a little bit more of a coating on it than a plain cardstock. I've got some alcohol blending solution, I have a blending tool, and I've got a foam pad and the felt pad, and then I have a bunch of Tim Holtz stencils. And you know what I love about Tim Holtz stencils? They have a hole in them. I can hang them up. Isn't that fun? Okay, so let's get started. We're going to put the felt pad on the blending tool, and then we are going to put just a few drops of alcohol ink on here, the 3 different colors. I did find that this works much better with darker colors than it does with lighter. So this is indigo that I'm using, mermaid, and since I have current out, I thought I pulled out something else, but I didn't. We'll go with it. So I'm using similar colors, kind of the blue and the blue-green. The current will be a little bit, I won't use quite as much of this. I think I'm going to use it. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe I can't get it open. There it goes. Well, and I'm going to use just a little bit of that. I don't want too much of that. And a little bit goes a long way. You can see I don't have a ton of ink on my felt pad, but it goes a long way on this paper. And then I am just going to dab around here. And I'm going to cover up all of the white space. Don't want any white space showing. And you may look like that indigo is probably going to become more dominant than the rest. Take over a little bit there. And if you give your blending tool a little bit of a tap and a little twist, a tap and a twist, those are technical terms, you'll get a little bit more of that alcohol ink. And I'm not worried about covering the whole pad right now. If you'll notice on my card or my tag that's going to be posted on my blog, I used this and then cut out a smaller piece and applied that onto my tag. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. You know what I like about alcohol inks? You go back over it and you get that little splotty-dotty look. I like splotties. All right, so that's good. That's dry. And we'll throw that away. We're not going to use that anymore. Now we need a foam. The foam applicator, and when you're picking a stencil for this technique, you do not want something small like this. I found it did not work great. You don't want something really large like this because you tend to lose the design. The circles work well. This is bubble. You can tell I use my stencils. They're a mess. Yep, that one's bubble, so that one works well. I found that the eye chart works really well. The arrows, I didn't have a ton of success. The stars probably will. Harlequin works, and then also cargo. I think cargo is the one that Tim used in the book. So I'm going to do the same because this nice it's a thick enough design that it should show up really well. So I'm going to put some of my alcohol blending solution down on my pad here on my nonstick craft sheet. I'm going to soak it up, and then I'm going to start tapping. And here's what I found. You tap, 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 and you got to kind of let this dry a little bit. And it dries quickly. I'm just blowing on a little bit now. But I know Tim was tapping, I found that if I circled around, and this means you've got to really hold this stencil still and hold it down, that I get more. You can see I'm removing the ink. You can see it on the pad. And if you need to pick up a little bit more, you can do that. And you may have to do this a couple of times. You may have to go over it once, let it sit and dry for a second, go over it again. I might go over it one more time. Just so, because I know the first few times I did it, and I've got a little bit of alcohol bleeding underneath there, that's okay. The first few times I did it, I would pick up my stencil and I would be so disappointed because I couldn't see anything. It's like nothing happened. Like I didn't remove any of the ink. That's what the blending solution should be doing, should be removing color. Here comes the test. Nice. So you can see a little bit of my alcohol ink went underneath. That's okay, I can live with that. Let's give this a quick dry. Some of those wetter spots that are more wet. Wetter? I almost said wetter. What's up with my English? So you can see it just very subtly removes some of the color there. And that makes a great background. And you could continue to do this. You could dry, put that back on, go over it again with the alcohol blending solution, and remove a little bit more of that. So hopefully you can see that. Just going to check. Oh yeah, that looks great. All right. So that's quick and easy. Faded layers. Tim calls this faded layers. You almost get that ghosting effect, watercolor effect in the background. Very cool. And it's great just for a background. As you can see on my tag that's on my blog, I put, some images over it. And I wanted to talk to you real briefly about that. If you want to get up this alcohol ink that is all over your mat, if you spray on that, or put some of that blending solution down, voila, clean. We all know, if you watch my videos, I got a thing for clean craft sheets. I don't know why, because if you saw the rest of my studio, you wouldn't even believe it. It's a hot mess outside of this little tiny space that you can see right here. So the other thing I wanted to show you was what I did with my tag. This is so easy, you'll laugh. Because I used some contrasting colors on my tag with the Dina Wakley heart stamp set. This is the collaged hearts, and one of the stamps has 3 little hearts like this. And I took some more of that paper, and this is what I did. Are you ready for this? This is very technical, very difficult to do. I put down some of that. This is her new paint. That's magenta. Let's see if I can find, oh, that can work. We could do a tiny bit of lemon. I don't want lemon. I'm looking for, oh yeah, I like that too though. That's nice. I used some contrasting colors on my tag on the blog. And I might prefer, instead of this is a specialty stamping paper, I confess that I might prefer a mixed media paper, because I find that this is maybe just a little bit, not getting quite as much coverage as I want. And this is what I did for my stamp tags. I need more of that magenta. Isn't that great, that hot pink? Woo! That's nice. Look at this. Very, very difficult. Serious. So I finished my video and found out that my camera had stopped right towards the very end. Love when that happens. Not really. So let me just quickly review my final step, which was after I had applied some of the Dina Wakley acrylic paint onto my cardstock, I used the jet black archival ink to stamp the 3-heart image directly on top of the paint. And because Dina has these great, this whole set really has all these designs already in the hearts. You can see it better there. I love that. There's not much that you need to do. Adding this little bit of paint down on a piece of paper and then stamping on top of it. And then you just cut out the image. So you can see here I cut out this one heart. And that pink has such a great contrast against the navy, which was a similar color palette to what I used on my tag that's on the blog. And it was mounted onto a craft tag, actually, which I just stamped a little bit of text in the background. So you can see you can take those 3 stamps and put them right, and that pink just has great, the pink and the orange there, the tangerine and magenta and the lemon have such a great contrast to the navy blue. So that was it. I hope you enjoy the technique. You can thank Tim. Thanks, Tim, for showing us a great technique to use with the alcohol inks and the specialty stamping paper, and Dina Wakely for your fabulous paints. I love them, and the beautiful stamps that she created. So thanks so much. Enjoy, and why don't you try this technique out and share it with us on our Facebook page. Take care.